So the next segment we're going to get into is the 530 grid. That's again, the engine that operates, that runs our business, DNA of people, DNA of business, DNA of life. So the DNA of business is the 530 grid. And when we're talking about leadership, one of the key things that we have to understand, and I'll just briefly go over the 530 grid with you here. So there are 5 areas and 6 levels of proficiency. So the farther we go here, the deeper we're going into marketing. So the first area is marketing, where we get more and better leads. Second, pre-sales. It's moving leads to actually convert. The third section is the sales. Somebody says yes or no. That's the sale. The fourth area is, now that you've got them, what are you going to do with them? Turn out servicing into a profit center. And fifth area is client for life, creating profitable, lifelong partnerships. But what happens is that in leadership, the key is, in excellence in leadership and success, is in the 6 levels of proficiency, we have to understand that the first area is culture and values. Culture and values as a leader. If we're not expressing the culture, if we don't clearly understand in what we communicate in terms of our values, the non-negotiables, then we're going to have a hard time in leading in any area of business. The second one is vision. People without vision perish. You have to have a clear life vision for yourself. You have to have a clear business vision for the business that you are in. So the second thing is vision. The first one is culture and values. The second level of proficiency is going to be vision. So if we're looking at marketing, the first level of proficiency is identifying targets, and the second is developing and delivering a message. If we're talking about leadership, the first level of proficiency, again, is culture and values. What are you trying to create? What's the non-negotiable? What's the foundation? The second level of proficiency is, once that's established, you've got to have a super clear vision. What does this, why do you exist as a leader, and why does this company, organization, volunteer group exist? And that has to be clearly communicated. The third level of proficiency in leadership is belief and knowledge. It's believing something is possible, and it's the facts to back it up, to say, here is the knowledge base that we are imparting, which is going to go into hiring. It's going to go into training. It's going to go into leadership development. So it's really important. It's not just about a foundational culture. It's, do you believe it? It's not just about the vision, because, I mean, remember, was it the 90s that everybody has to have a mission statement, right? So corporate America had this broad brushstroke. You got to have a mission statement, right? And I agree with that. It's just that everybody had one, but did they really believe it? Was there enough information backing it up? Was there enough vision? Was there enough belief then that was not only possible, but we're going to get there no matter what, right? And it's the knowledge base to back it up. It's not some pie in the sky, just follow me, it's going to be fine. It's, here's why we're going here, and this is how we're going to get here. For instance, when we're talking about the 530 grid, if we're building anything, identify targets, develop and deliver a message to those targets, track 100% of them, ask key questions, implement a 10+ strategic strike, and then group people in messages. This is called the golden triangle. Master that, and you have just about everything you need. At that point, we're going to look into feeding success. This is box 12, Mark mentioned before. In leadership, one of the key things you can do in your group to create belief and knowledge and really drive your organization forward is taking whatever successes you have and feeding them right back into identifying targets and developing and delivering a message. So if you're hiring, you can say, well, I don't know if I'm really interested in this. I'm just going to say no. Hey, I really appreciate you saying that. Some of our best employees, some of our best leaders, our greatest movers here started saying that, so you're in good company. What? Yeah, because these people initially said no, because they didn't believe what we were doing. When they saw the culture and values of what we're doing, the vision, the belief, the knowledge, they were on board. So I'm going to ask you to keep an open mind. And if no is no, that's fine. But I'm not going to try and pull you onto something you don't want to do, but there are best ones started by saying no. Why? Because they want to see if you're for real. Right? It's their time too. The fourth level of proficiency is actually doing. Now that we have our culture and vision, our values, our belief in knowledge. You actually got to do it, for crying out loud. Let's not talk anymore. Let's actually implement, okay? So when people start to see that things are working, they have a greater belief and a greater investment into the vision that you're doing. And it's got to be done over and over and over again. It's not just done once or twice or 3 times or 10 times or 100. It's, like Mark has said before, it's doing something with mind-numbing consistency. Mind-numbing consistency. And when things are going bad, double down. When things are going bad, don't pull, double down. It's just all the way. Because that's where leadership is really developed. And an organization is starting to fall apart, double down. Double the efforts. Make it happen. And if we're talking leadership, the 5th level of proficiency, now that an organization is being built, is to give. The 5th level of proficiency in leadership is to give. See, it's not just what you get, it's what you give. And what are you giving? Are you giving something of value? Are you giving something of real substance to people? Are you giving them a model by which they can go out and change their life and the lives of other people around them? That's the 5th level of proficiency in leadership, and it's so key. Because if it's just about getting, at some point, you're going to be alienating people. The people that came on board to help you build this, right? All the personalities are going to be in your business, by the way, right? The analytic people, they're like, hang on, we don't have all the facts yet. This guy's going, we don't need all the facts, let's go. Come on, relax, right? This people's like, is everybody okay with this? I just want to make sure that they're all right. You know, if you start bulldozing for too long, these people, the amiables, which by the way are the glue to your organization, if they get really ticked off, don't worry about some of these other people starting to leave the organization. When these people leave, it's like filling a tub with water and pulling the drain. So giving is really important for this personality type. They're on board. And when these people are on board and they dig their heels in about a cause, like Mark said, they're a machine, they're tenacious. They're not going to stop for anything, right? That's what's really key in terms of giving, all right? And the 6th level of proficiency is our legacy. What are we leaving behind? It's not just your name on the side of a multi-million-dollar wing to a hospital, although that is certainly a legacy that somebody can be proud of. It's, what are you leaving behind? What are you doing to create something for the next generation and generations beyond that? So when you're long gone, give thought to, before that happens, to say, what am I going to leave here of lasting value? Not just to promote, not to promote my name, but to really help change people's lives. Because if we're in leadership, it's not about us. It's more about giving. It's more about leading, which means it's us laying our lives down for other people, right? Like, I care more about them than they care about them. Right? Isn't that frustrating? It's like, I want them to succeed so badly, I'm willing to help them do it. And at some point, if they're not, it just gets hard, right? And sometimes, like you said, Mark, next. You know, at some point, you do have to evaluate that. But I'm wondering if we had systems in place that could maybe attract another 1 out of 10. So you go from 1 out of 10 to 2 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10, just because it's ratcheted up. So leadership is really important when it comes to business, and it's going to drive everything forward with the BOS system. Okay?
We say we're going to give up. You're going to give up on yourself before we give up on you.
That's a great way to say it, Mark. That's right. And when people hear that as part of your culture and values, that might give them pause to say, okay, and then maybe not. But yeah, that's leadership. Any questions? Okay?